In this lecture, we're going to look at the main difference between two consensus algorithms, and pretty much we're going to look at proof of work and proof of stake. We're going to understand what are the differences between the two and why they are actually important to any blockchain-based business model. First of all, a consensus algorithm is really a way for a blockchain-based protocol to make decisions going forward. Let's remember that a blockchain is really a database which underlying asset is a cryptocurrency that is used in several ways on the blockchain protocol. And pretty much when it comes to the proof of work and proof of stake, the underlying cryptocurrency is crucial because it helps really the database record a transaction on top of the blockchain, and it also helps move the blockchain forward, so really finding consensus going forward. Now, we have two main kind of consensus algorithms that have proved to work at scale. On the one side, we have proof of work, which is really the primary consensus algorithm that has been used for the first real use case, which is Bitcoin. And then on the other side, we have proof of stake, which as we will see right now, it's another core consensus algorithm, and it has been used on various protocols. And now the second main blockchain protocol, which is Ethereum, is actually moving to a proof of stake protocol. Now, when it comes to proof of work, really the main goal of a proof of work consensus algorithm is to prove that a transaction has happened on top of the blockchain, and so this can be confirmed, it can be recorded permanently on top of the blockchain. So, for instance, when it comes to a network like Bitcoin, what happens is that in order for a transaction to be completed on top of it, you have a set of miners that really resolve complicated math problems so that they can get rewarded in cryptocurrencies. And as the supply of the cryptocurrency gets reduced, because over time you're gonna get just a fixed number of Bitcoin that you have in circulation, those math problems become harder and harder. So it requires a much higher computational power to actually solve those consensus algorithms, and that's why it requires higher and higher mining power to actually mine blocks and get rewarded for those. So on a proof of work protocol, really on one side you have miners that help create more of a cryptocurrency, and on the other side you also have miners which compete to mine blocks that help secure transactions on top of the blockchain. So they work as a sort of a mechanism for enabling transactions. So the miners compete in solving those mathematical problems in order to really validate and verify the transactions that happen on top of the blockchain. And that's how you secure the blocks, and that's how the blockchain moves forward. On the other side, you have a proof of stake. In a proof of stake, it's a different kind of mechanism where instead of really having miners at the center of the blockchain consensus mechanism, you actually have those that participate in the consensus, which are the stakers. So those who are able to stake their coins through the blockchain and on top of the blockchain, so that they can both validate transactions on top of the blockchain, and they can also get rewarded for those transactions. So those people act as validators. What are the main differences? So on a proof of work, really, again, here the main puzzle is to enable miners to solve hard math problems, which will become harder and harder as the supply of the cryptocurrency becomes scarcer and scarcer. And in this case, those miners get rewarded in underlying cryptocurrency, either because they are creating new currency by mining it, or because they are helping the underlying blockchain to validate transactions through a proof of work mechanism. On the other side, you have a proof of stake, where instead the mechanism underlying it is not mining but is staking. So it's participating in the consensus through staking, and so by locking in coins on the blockchain, those validators participate in the consensus mechanism. So they use their stakes in the underlying blockchain to actually validate transactions, and for those reasons they get rewarded in underlying cryptocurrency. One example is the proof of stake of Ethereum, that if once it goes live on the full blockchain, it actually enables stakers to participate in the consensus mechanism of the blockchain by actually having locked into the blockchain at least 32 Ethereum as of now. And this is gonna help them really validate the transactions on top of the blockchain, as a result gain rewards. Why it's important to either use one of the consensus algorithm like proof of work or proof of stake. Proof of work, it's definitely a kind of a consensus algorithm that has proved to work also at scale, even though until a certain extent. However, it has a very high consumption, so it's not efficient, and over time it leads, as has been already seen, to centralization. Proof of stake is believed to actually consume less computing power, to be a little bit more democratic, because it enables not everyone can be a validator. Take the case of Ethereum, where you need 32 Ethereum coins to actually being able to stake on top of the blockchain. Not everyone can afford that, because it can be expensive depending on how much the cryptocurrency is going to be valued today. But pretty much it can be a more democratic mechanism. It should consume less computing power, and at the same time it should enable more people to receive rewards on top of the blockchain. Now, also when it comes to proof of stake, we have an interesting precedent, which is the Steemit, which was a social platform powered by a cryptocurrency called Steem. After a few years back, if I'm not mistaken, in 2018, the Steem blockchain was actually undertaken by Justin Sun, which is also the creator of another cryptocurrency. So nonetheless, the whole mechanism was supposed to be decentralized. The company that was behind Steemit and behind the creation of the Steem protocol actually sold its coins to another digital entrepreneur by de facto passing the ownership of not the ownership, you cannot pass the ownership of the blockchain based protocol, but passing the control of the consensus mechanism. There is something important to say also in that case, as people rebelled against the takeover by Justin Sun on the Steem blockchain. There was another blockchain that formed by the fork. It means that the community copied the open code of the blockchain to create a new blockchain, and they all joined together in a new blockchain protocol called Hive. So they created their own version of the blockchain protocol. So it's very important to understand that both those mechanisms are not flawless, especially at scale. They need to be tested, and that's many of the things that right now many in the crypto community are doing. And at the same time, it's important to understand that when you're operating on a cryptocurrency, this is more similar to an open source software rather than a proprietary software. So you need also the endorsement of the community to move things forward. But those are the main differences between the two.